Hey everyone, Rod Sahu here, realtor in Central Texas, back with another model home walkthrough. Today we're going through the 216 plan with Highland Homes. This plan with the structural upgrades that are shown in this model home is over 3,000 square feet. It has 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms. It's a 1-story plan, and you'll see with the tall ceilings and large windows that are often found with a lot of plans with Highland Homes, this plan feels so open. And even beyond the bedrooms and bathrooms, we're going to show a media room / game room area, a study, and a huge patio space, which we'll get to in a second. First, let's go through this main living area. So we have a sitting area on the right, dining area in the back, another living room beyond this kitchen, which we'll get to in a minute. But first, we're going to start in this amazing kitchen. We have 2 kitchen islands here. I love what they did from a design standpoint. Painting them blue with the cabinet overlay, and then they even have some blue in the backsplash, and the exterior cabinets are all white to really make that blue stand out. I love seeing this from a design standpoint on a plan like this because, as we know, the kitchen's the focal point, and so a lot of people, now that build from scratch options are finally back, are trying to design their homes to make their island the focal point. And I think the countertop that they chose here and the island color just flows really well, and I think it really builds the dream if you are interested in building from scratch. A good example of what's possible when you go to some of these design studios with these great builders like Highland Homes. Now, I mentioned the countertops flowed really well with the colors that they have here. Take a look at this. I love the veins that are in here. It provides some character to the countertop, but it's still subtle so that the blue stands out in this kitchen. Getting back to the flow of the plan, I like that the kitchen is kind of its own thing, like your cooking's on this side, but then everything else, like the island, that second island or kind of serving area with the sink, is open to the rest of the room. So you can kind of cook here and then, congregate around the island, the dining room close by. Everything's still open, but everything's still kind of private from each other. And that combination, I think, is difficult. And then that is the pantry, but keep in mind there's lots of different upgrade options with Highland. A lot of their plans have many different options that I think buyers desire to have. This being one of them, a second pantry, or what some would call a Butlers Pantry. Great place to hide appliances. Like you see a Keurig machine here, lots of areas for storage. And this is what they're calling their enhanced laundry / craft / pantry in lieu of garage. So it gives you pretty much the second pantry. And then I'll show you a little bit later on down this hallway, there is a laundry room on the left side. It gives you this enhanced laundry room, and there's quite a few options that we'll cover there. But I want to stick in this main living area and kind of keep everything a little bit more organized. You understand what I think is the main part of the home, probably where you're going to be spending the most time in, and that's your kitchen, living room, or in this case, kind of like a double living room, along with that dining area. So this is that first living room. The fireplace, of course, is an upgrade, but if you took that out, you might get a little bit more room in this sitting area. Regardless, I like how they have this stage where it's just kind of 4 chairs looking at each other, almost like you're around a fire pit. I think that's great. That's unique. I don't see that too much in many plans. Usually it's just kind of living room, dining, kitchen. In this case, it's a bit unique where there's 2 areas for sitting. Dining room, I like how this is all open with each other. For a lot of people that say, well, I had a dining room in my last home and we never used it, we never sit down and eat all together, we're always just eating around the kitchen or the living room or something like that, then I think that this is a great space because at least it's combined with everything else. You're not losing out on that square footage elsewhere. And that's why I took this shot. I mean, take a look at how big this room is from this side, and that's very unique for a 1-story plan. Usually 1-story plan, I say this a lot, is the hallways take up the space because you need hallways to kind of get to every room. And I try to find the plans where builders don't do that. They really optimize space to make everything efficient, and they provide things that are a little bit more unique. Now for this living room, I love the ceiling design that they put in here. You could put a TV probably where that picture is and then move around the furniture where if you didn't have that sliding glass door in front of us, there'd just be windows across that wall. And then I think you can get away with some furniture situated, I think, a little bit differently than what they're showing here in the model home. And speaking of the sliding glass doors, whether that's necessary or not really depends on what you do on the outside here. So if you wrap around a patio like that, well, then I think it's a great upgrade. You saw a dining table around that corner, which we'll get to in a second. And I think this really builds the dream. So if you're somebody who likes to spend time outdoors, eat outdoors, well, then I think putting in some netting like this, going to protect you while you're eating, is great. It's a fantastic, I wouldn't call it an upgrade. A lot of builders don't do that. But they can give you electrical or run electrical where you need it, so you can do that aftermarket. Now, for those of you who don't want to look out your windows and see that netting, and you would prefer a view, I think you can actually find this in the community that this model home is built in, which is called Parkside on the River. This community is one of the newest communities in the West Georgetown area. If you want something that has good topography, great greenery around it, I think this is a great community for it. They're actually opening up new phases currently that are being built into the hillside. And I think that this is one of the communities that makes me feel like I'm in Austin. People talk about Austin being, greenery, parks, beauty, which means like topography and views and things like that. I really think this community offers a lot of those things that people are striving to be around when moving here. Getting back to the plan, this is the owner's suite. They did do a bay window upgrade in here, or what they're calling like an extended primary suite. That's why they fit those two blue chairs on the side there. It also adds some windows on the sides instead of just having 3 windows there. I think that this is a great upgrade that adds square footage to the space, but most importantly, provides you some flexibility here. If you just want like a sitting area like they're showing, it's great. I've had a lot of new families say when they need to put a baby's crib or feed their baby and they just need a separate area in their owner's suite to be able to do that, it's nice to have that extension. And even if you don't really utilize that space, again, I think the windows is just fantastic. So much more natural light comes in there when you do that. And they're really keeping with the blue theme in here with the walls and everything. But this owner's bathroom really changes then, right? Everything is just light and bright. They have some whites and browns in here. They did tile all the way across the wall. So in here, I like that freestanding tub. I like that they have a separate vanity area across from the 2 sinks. I think that's something that's unique. And I love the tall ceilings in here. So, again, this is a 1-story plan. Almost every room you go to, it just feels like Highland takes it to the next level. And that elevated space, it makes it feel so much more premium. I think I mentioned, with the structural upgrades at the beginning of the video, we're around over 3,000 square feet. But if you keep going into each of these areas, wait till you see the rest of the rooms in this home, like the entertainment room. They have an option for a fitness area or a pet spa. I'm not joking, it's called a pet spa. FlexGen studio. There are a lot of different options that we'll go throughout this plan. And getting back to the point, even though this is just around 3,000 square feet, I think there's just so much that you can do with this plan when building from scratch that you can use it so efficiently. Imagine kind of planning out your own home and picking the options that you know that you'll value. That's the beauty of building from scratch, is you can really make this home yours. And that's why I do these, right? It's great to see the amount of options that are available here. Getting into the owner's closet, and you saw the walk-in shower before that, like the window that was on the side that makes you feel like you're still in this huge bathroom. And then take a look at the ceiling height, even in the owner's closet. I don't know how you would get up there, but I'm sure there's some sort of device that I could find aftermarket to kind of put things up there. But there's just so much more space because of the ceiling height, and I could say that about almost every single room. Now, this doorway will lead to the laundry room. I don't want to go there. That's the design on the floor there is the laundry room. That's actually the second pantry that we saw previously. Let me actually come back around to this area so you can kind of orient yourself properly. And while we're heading over there, I want to take this time to mention that if you're watching this sometime in late 2022 or in 2023, there are so many more options than there were during this madness that started in 2020. And you know what I'm referring to. During that time when everything got shut down, everybody went inside, and everyone had to stay at home. It was so tough for these builders to find labor and deal with those outbreaks that would happen. And then supply chain became a nightmare, and they couldn't get their hands on any materials. a lot of that is now starting to calm down. Every builder I'm talking to says it still exists, but it's getting better and better and better. And that's what's leading to a lot of these options opening up, along with some other factors. But point is, if interested in real estate or building from scratch, reach out to me. Even if you're in a different area than me, I'd be happy to connect you with somebody good for your local area, because there are a lot of builders. It's important to figure out what your best options are. Getting back to the plan, this is that enhanced laundry / craft / pantry area. Do keep in mind there's usually a 3-car tandem garage in this plan, so this will actually take up the tandem space. Now, if you value that garage space, there could be an option to add another garage bay to keep your 3-car garage. It just depends on the lot size, but if you like changing this space to something else, they have some great options here. One's a fitness area, which I've seen now become very popular, especially with a lot of people who had to work out at home over the last couple years. They got used to it, they want a room for it. Or I've even seen a pet spa where it's exactly what it states, pet spa. It's great for your pets, where I think they have like a dog washing station. And then, by the way, this is the access to the owner's closet. So you don't have to lug your laundry all the way through the house. You can just go through that door. And then this is another structural upgrade where this would normally be storage, or if you value the separate powder bathroom, you could add this powder bathroom. And I should say, check with all the upgrades before you make a buying decision. Sometimes these can change over time. So I'm just showing you what's available right now at the time of this recording. Now, this is going to be one of the spare bedrooms downstairs. If you do get the powder bathroom, what I'm seeing is it changes this full bathroom into an in-suite full bathroom. So this would normally be accessed from the hallway, but you're about to see a full bathroom that's just right here in the bedroom, which I think is perfect if you want somebody to have a little bit more privacy. This bedroom is kind of tucked away from that main living area and the other bedrooms. Another structural upgrade that you can do here is make this into what they're calling a flex gen studio. Now that would change quite a bit in this model home. Like that laundry area you showed, it would take up that space, and it would basically blow out some walls here. You'd still get an in-suite full bathroom. The bedroom would just be massive. So if you have somebody maybe staying with you for a while, I find a lot of people that are looking out for their parents when they're visiting or staying with them for weeks or possibly even months. It's really, a lot of people ask for a big bedroom. Well, this would be the way to do it. In that Flex Gen studio, I'm actually seeing a kitchenette option in there, which is fantastic. So if they want to enjoy a cup of coffee or cook something separately in their Flex Gen studio, there's an option for that. And this is where, going back to what Highland Homes, what I think they do a little bit differently than most builders is they listen to buyers and what their needs are, and they try to meet those needs in their plan. Okay, moving along, let's head over to the front of the home where there's still a couple bedrooms. There's this great entertainment room you can use as like a media room area, which we'll get to in a second, and then a study as well. So lots of rooms to still go through. Again, even though it's a one-story plan, around 3,000 square feet, it really uses space well. And it starts again in this bedroom. So normally what I'm seeing, there would be 2 bedrooms on this side and a Jack and Jill full bathroom in between them. But they're currently offering a structural upgrade where you can change that Jack and Jill full bathroom into 2 full bathrooms. And that's what you're seeing here. So each full bathroom then becomes in suite. So if you valued each bedroom having its own full bathroom, you have an option for that. Even there's so many options. I actually missed an option where we saw that enhanced laundry room area that took up the tandem space that I was referring to. You could also change that to a second study. Again, that's Highland Homes listening to what buyers need. A lot of tech buyers are looking right now. A lot of tech buyers who have 2 people working from home at once. Really nice to have that separate space as a second study without compromising one of the bedroom areas. And then this is so funny. I have to go back to this sign. Do you see it? Community sold so much faster than anticipated. Basically, they were closed until future phases. I am so excited to see that in this closet and not out in front of this model home, because there was a time when there were no lots available. This community just opened up and everything sold out, and it felt like it all happened within a week or so, and it became impossible to get in here. So really good to see that kind of tucked away where there are finally some options, and hence why I'm out here taking a look at this. Getting back to the plan, this is what they're calling an entertainment room, and I would say with no windows, it's kind of made for that media room. You see some speakers in the ceiling, which I think is great. Again, if you do build from scratch, you can, pre-wire and do a lot of different options from an electrical standpoint. And so I've had some people, I've even had a client who was an electrical engineer, and it was just, the conversation was incredible. It was a very high level conversation on that Zoom, planning the electrical for their entire house. So really cool things that you can do, even in a space like that. Shut the doors. It's amazing what you can do with the technology these days. The speakers that are on the market nowadays, it makes it, when you listen to them in a home theater, it makes it feel like you're actually in the movie. And you have to experience that at least once and entertain the idea of having that in your house for sure. Okay, moving along, this is that study. So it's right at the front entrance on the left side here. And obviously, depending on the orientation of your house, you could flip the house where everything is that's on the left is on the right. But on this specific model home on the left side, I know they have a built-in desk here. I would say most builders are not going to provide an option like that, but probably something you could do aftermarket. And I would say, like with most of these rooms, the ceiling height and the windows really, you can see even the natural light that's coming in here, even from a video. There's a lot coming in from many different directions. And then I don't think I showed this. I like how they put kind of like light fixtures all the way throughout. It just makes that entrance a little bit more grand. And then one thing I want to mention, if you've noticed, there are some curves in the ceiling. So sometimes they can offer an option where they can make those rectangular or more at like a right angle is a better way of putting it. And so if that bothers you, you don't like curves, you feel like it's a little bit more traditional, I've seen Highland offer that for a past client that I had. Can't make any promises that they'll offer it all the time, but definitely something to double check if that bothers you, or if you strongly prefer one over the other. Now, we're about to see a bathroom that's en suite, but again, in the base plan, this could just be a Jack and Jill full bathroom. So that's what I'm currently seeing, is this would be a Jack and Jill in between the two bedrooms. But if you want in-suite full bathrooms like they're showing here in the model home, it's nice to see an option currently for that. Now, if you've liked this model home walkthrough with Highland Homes and want to see another one, click on the thumbnail that's on your screen. And then if you are looking at real estate in the Central Texas area or other areas, let me know. As I always say, if I think your criteria makes sense to work with me, I'll tell you that. If I think it makes sense for somebody else, I'll connect you. And like the video, it does help the channel. And as always, hope this helps. Take care.